I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener. Guys, we're here. Welcome. This is the
Mike is
stream.
DJing this stream,
From
so
DJ Mike. The first song that we're going to be doing for DJ Mike is a band named Celosis.
and the name of the song is I Sever.
This entire fire stream is dedicated to the big homie DJ Mike. All the songs are his genius selections. So,
Well, we don't know if they're genius yet until the end.
You have right. You have the big homie Mike to thank or to hate
Right.
for what you're about to endure or enjoy.
Yeah, send all the hate mail to him and all the love mail to us.
Yes, send the hate to DJ
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah. If you
And-
like it, remember it's our channel. If
Correct.
you hate it, Mike picked the song.
If you hate it, there's nothing we could do.
Right.
Like, but if you love it, then really the credit should go. Really, the credit should go to me. To be honest with you,
Well, let's not get carried away.
I really feel that way. But
Okay,
you
but
know,
I'm the one that did all the communication,
I'm
so
willing.
it's me.
I'm willing to share.
Me,
I'm willing to share the
me.
credit. That's the type of guy I am. I'm a team
That's
player.
so nice, Vinny.
Vinny's a team player. Okay, having said that,
All right.
the time has arrived. Celosis is the name of the band. The name of the song, however, is different.
I
What's
Sever.
the name of the song? The name of the
Look, this
song
is-
is I Sever.
This is going to be interesting.
Why?
Let's go.
What's going to be interesting?
I
about it?
Sever? I mean, it sounds like something gross is about to happen.
Okay, and it's the live in studio version. It may get blocked. If it gets blocked, you won't see the live version. Here we go. That chorus is crazy.
Exciting news. There's 2 of the songs by this band on his list.
Oh, mashallah.
So, yeah.
Mashallah. Good. Okay,
Love the melodic sound that they had in there. It's
melodic death metal, I think, is your probably second favorite genre.
Yeah.
You know, you like all the prog stuff.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
You like the people, you know, doing all the weird scales and modes and being like, hey, we're prog.
Yes.
But you
We're
like
better than you.
You like the melodic death metal.
I do. I really do. I do. I'll do.
Yeah. It looks
especially when there's both male and female vocals, which they didn't have female vocals in this.
Yeah.
Points deducted for your misogyny.
It would have been pretty ridiculous if they had a girl singing at the end, especially that final chorus. That would have been massively epic.
It would have been.
Looks like we need a band with a girl that has some vocals.
That's what they need.
Where can you find them? Where can you find such a band?
Not here. I'm already in a band with Vinny.
Yep. She can sing. Okay, guys. Man, this is good. This is really, really, really good.
I woke up the other morning and my hair was all crazy, my makeup was all, and I was like, looked in the mirror and I was like, yo, this is what I look like when I wake up. And then you're always like, oh, this is what Sori looks like when she wakes up. And so I was gonna actually do a TikTok. I might still do it. I'll be like, what I actually look like, and then I'll put how Vin sees me. She wakes up like this. I need that clip of you saying she wakes up like this.
Shout out to your sinful desire, friend of Queen Vampire. This song was really good. I really, really like. What, you like this?
We're echoing.
Are we? You're echoing. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! I don't know how we would be echoing. Where's the echo? Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We should be better now. It should be better now. Okay, so
all right.
That was DJ Mike's first song, I Sever. It looks like it's about the severing of a relationship.
It is?
That's what it looks like to me. Do me a favor.
I didn't catch the lyrics, so what do you want me to do?
Give me that battery real quick. Yeah. The lyrics were, you know, everybody knows that I like live bands so much better.
Yeah.
So when I see a band play live and I just love when bands are into their own music. So
100%. Yes.
So I was going back and forth. So I missed some of the lyrics at the beginning because obviously I was caught up in the music. But I was able to catch some of the lyrics halfway, and it looked like it was the end of the relationship, of some kind of relationship, especially when he says, you know, misplaced dependency, slave to anxiety, distance doesn't always make those faces fade. I'm torn in two, can't distinguish lies from truth, cut through this world that I'm attached to. And then,
to me, though, that could have been his parents or his upbringing, or it didn't necessarily, you know, some tragedy that happened to him when he was a kid.
Here now I lay this to rest. Fare thee well, my ally. Bye.
Yeah.
Fare thee well. We used to be friends, not anymore. See you later.
Yeah, my ally. Wow.
Bye. And, you know, misplaced dependency, that type of thing.
But then he says, feels like I may drift forever.
Yeah.
So it's not going well, and so he has to leave that person, but he doesn't necessarily want to.
Well, I think when you're codependent, that it becomes, you know, you drift for a while because you've made your life all about that person.
Oh, absolutely. So
it would make sense that he feels like he's drifting, and it says misplaced dependency right there. So it was a codependent relationship, and it looks like it did not end well. So that's the term I sever. And I think, you know, a lot of people, sometimes they'll say, you know, and it was a big issue for me growing up, like why women stay in bad or abusive relationships.
Yeah.
And what happens is that, you know, you invest so much time and effort into a relationship. And on top of that, while that's happening, you're giving up years of your life. You're also reorienting yourself to become completely dependent on the person. So the longer it goes, the harder it is to get out. So when she finally does get out, she kind of has to rebuild herself and reconstruct herself to be able to survive in the world without that kind of pressure in that person. And it's very, very difficult for people. And so a lot of reasons, that's why people stay in, I mean,
I'm using women, but men do the same thing. I mean, obviously a little bit different reasons. We've got different societal structures, so it's a little bit different. I think it's easier for a man to just leave and start from scratch than it is for a woman for a multitude of reasons.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
and obviously my experience has been seeing women suffer through that and go through that and try to, escape and help.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because there are times where something, oh my word, the example that comes to mind is a terrible example, but it's literally the only thing that's here, so I apologize. But so like if someone in anger calls somebody a bitch, or someone that there's like, you have like that, my bitch, you know what I mean? Like there's like the word, it's the same word, but there can be a totally different meaning behind it. And I think that there is a version of like codependency, and that's probably a bad word to use for it, that is good and healthy in a relationship. And then there's another version of it that's not good. And so I think that there is a certain,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I need you, you need me, and we work together. There's like a teamwork aspect of it. And, like especially where our lines intersect with each other. Like, I was editing the videos, making the thumbnails, uploading them to YouTube, and then I hand it off to you and I say, hey, like you schedule all of them. You know what I mean? And there's some forums, like the Facebook forum, you're constantly on there talking to people, and I'm not. I'm on Patreon. You know what I mean? Like we have different things so we can complement each other, and each of us, we're necessary to each other, but there is a codependency that actually will stifle and completely destroy your relationship.
Yeah, I think
on both sides.
I think there's a difference between interdependency and codependency.
Yeah.
And
maybe that's
and interdependency, which is a form that a lot of people don't think about. It's where two independent people come together and voluntarily depend on each other to accomplish a larger goal. Which is what you described about you editing and me scheduling and all the rest of it.
Right.
And obviously, that is the best form of a relationship, is interdependency, where two independent people come together.
Yeah.
Because then I'm voluntarily sacrificing certain aspects of things to you and vice versa for a greater good, whereas there is no independence in a codependent relationship. Both of them are just sucking the life out of each other, and that gets interpreted as love or devotion or whatever, when in reality it's just plain old fear, ego-driven way to manage a relationship, and it becomes extremely toxic.
And hard to love in that environment as well.
Yeah, so he says, I shed this skin like a weightless veil wrapped around a statue. Brilliant line. Brilliant. A weightless veil wrapped around a statue.
Yeah, have you ever seen when a statue gets uncovered?
Yeah.
Like, in how beautiful it is. Especially when they do it in slow motion and it kind of comes like falling off, and then there's like the great reveal.
Yeah.
That's a really beautiful way of describing him coming out of that relationship and him, kind of coming back to who he is. That's crazy.
Yeah. And so like, I think that, but it's just a very good opening line. Like I'm really big on the opening line. So I shed this skin like a weightless veil wrapped around a statue, which is cool because it's weightless. But what I imagined was like an invisible type of thing around him, because that's what happened. Like when you're in one of these bad relationships, there is a sort of film that's like around you. Yeah. Like a layer around you that you can't really shake off. That you notice a noticeable difference when that person is gone. Bless God.
Yeah. This is really crazy. I shed the skin like a weightless veil wrapped around a statue. Then it says, I flooded the past to see what would surface. It seems like, so obviously like if you flood a room, stuff will float to the surface.
Yeah.
And so he does that with his past, and there was nothing to hold on to. So when he flooded it, there wasn't anything there. Like, I think it's, maybe he misses what was in the past, but when he really tries to look at it, there's nothing there. Like, there is something that he misses, but familiar hands reached out to pull me to the ground. So there's two ways you could look at that. One is, if the past got flooded and stuff was going to come to the surface and he's getting pulled to the ground, it's trying to drown him because the ground is beneath the water. Mm-hmm. Or it's just another way. Maybe it's not drowning him. Maybe it's just to pull him back down, which is still negative. The knife in my back was the jewel in your crown. that is really horrible. If that's how it was to that other person, like, you feel good about the knife that you put in somebody else's back. Yeah. That's a joy. And I do know there are people like that. Like, they are very, you know, to stand over their victims. They like that feeling.
Yep.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, and it looks like a betrayal, right? Because
yeah,
being stabbed in the back is like a, you know, I read somewhere that Hitler was the one that invented that term, knife in the back or stabbed in the back. I'll have to look at that later.
Really?
But yeah, it looks like this person maybe cheated on him or whatever. The knife in my back was a jewel in your crown. Whatever betrayal it was something that the other person interpreted as something that increased their status.
Well, and the other thing too is if you're talking about misplaced dependency, it could be that the other person was very controlling and was trying to like control him, and he felt betrayal in that. And that would be, you know, because that could make the person happy. Like every time that they get to a new level of control, that could be good for a very controlling person and negative for the other person.
Yeah, and Hoyle's, I think, is right again. The knife in the back helps him see the person for who they are.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes the person, I mean, that's you guys know my philosophy about this, is that if the person's going to be a traitor and stab you in the back, it's not like they woke up one day and randomly decided, oh, I'm going to stab you in the back today. They've given you clues, and I've never been in a situation where someone's like, oh, this person cheated, or they did X, Y, and Z thing, and like it was like out of this universe, insanely surprising. When you go back and look at the details and things like that and things that were said, it's clear there was like purposeful looking of the other way. I'm not victim blaming. What I am saying though is that when you get to that point of explicit, impossible to reason away betrayal, it's a mercy in the sense that this person is showing you definitively, without any way of looking at it any differently, that that's the person they are. And it's an opportunity for you to make an informed decision about what you're going to do in response to that. And, you know, there are some people that'll say, oh yeah, just get out of there. But people do change. People do evolve. People do get different. So it's not as simple as just saying, oh yeah, at the first instance of betrayal, get rid of them. You know, everybody's got a sort of, you know, limitation as to what they can handle, and I think that's the real issue, and that's why I'm so big on communication. That's why I'm so big on, you know, having those discussions, because if you don't, then becomes all this secret resentment and all the rest of it, and becomes extremely toxic. So like, you gotta communicate. You have to communicate. And then he says...
See, to me, like, again, if I was going to go with my thought on it, was misplaced dependency, a slave to the anxiety. But distance doesn't always make those faces fade. I am torn in two. Can't distinguish the lies from truth. Cut through this world that I am attached to. So that, to me, was, you know, when he's drumming up the past and looking over things, like, there's sort of this confusion that kind of starts getting to him because... you know, he's got anxiety about it and stuff, and it's tearing him in two, because there's the truth of what happened, but then there's also the dependency and maybe the love that he had. And so the truth and the lies can I think that there's definitive truth and definitive lies, but then I think that your desires can kind of make those lines cross, because you can start, you know, what you want, you can start thinking something to be what you want it to be. And so that can make it very difficult to see something for what it actually is.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true. And, you know, cut through this world that I'm attached to, can't distinguish the lies from the truth. You know, that's one of those big things with, like, you know, gaslighters. They'll make you question reality, and you have to constantly be on your P's and Q's with those folks, because... you know, it's a real crazy thing. Like, you end up thinking, like, man, am I crazy? Like, what is going, like, well, am I missing whatever? Like, there are some and that's why I said, like, they're so tricky, because, you know, I remember in evangelicalism, they'll almost make an idol out of marriage. And so it creates very toxic environments where abusive people are allowed. And it's really interesting because a lot in the Christian world, a lot of the codependency stuff they look at as, being in, especially when the woman is codependent to the man. So when a woman is completely and totally dependent on her husband and all the rest of it, there's a brand of evangelicalism that loves that shit because it places the man in a consistent, perpetual power position.
Yeah.
And it gives them free reign to be as abusive and as horrible as they want to be. Mm-hmm. And so that's why I said, like, these things are really, really, really complex. Like, sometimes if a person betrays you and they're genuinely sorry about it, then you forgive them. And there have been relationships where that's happened and people moved on after a big event. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it just depends on, what the goal is of both parties. So it's pretty crazy.
Yep.
What do you give the song?
I actually am going with like a 9.3. I love the way that it was melodic. It was fun. I liked it, and it kind of like took me someplace. So.
Yeah. I love the vocals. I love the melody. It was really, really good. Love the guitar work. Love the subject matter of the song. So I'm going to give it a 9.3. Really, really, really strong opening. This is song 1.
Yep.
In the
Mike stream.
The Mike Franco stream. DJ Mike and his horrible, horrible animal. What's the name of that animal, by the way?
No, he didn't tell us what the name of the dog was. But that dog is not horrible.
His pup. He called it his pup. Shout out to the pup. Stay away from me. You horrible thing.
All right.
Having said that, dear listener, the moral of the story is communicate and don't take no shit from anybody.
Don't give no shit to anybody.
And his name is Pumas.
Aww.
Pumas is the name of his horrible animal. So Pumas says goodbye, you horrible people. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.